Alpesh Patel is the CEO of Profinium Partners and joins us now. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So look, we're reporting about what's happening in Iraq. Latest is that the Kurds have apparently retaken a dam quite crucial to Mosul, a major dam, and making some headway against the IS, Islamic State. It's not enough. The US is involved. There's a lot of pressure on the UK to get involved too, but there's war fatigue amongst the electorate.
Well, what's quite clearly happening is Britain's getting more and more involved. I tell you what, when I read this, I was very proud to be British. It's a shame we're being sucked in. It's a shame we have no choice but to be sucked in, because these are not terrorists. These are barbarians. We're talking about them wiping out whole villages. We're talking about, I mean, that term's used very often, genocide, but it is that. They want to wipe out entire bloodlines in the Islamic State. And it's not a state, and it's not Islamic. That's the wrong. What angers me is where the heck are the UAE, where are Saudi Arabia, where are Turkey, well-armed Islamic countries? Because you know what's going to happen when all this dies down. It's going to be, oh, the West is killing Muslims. And it's not the case. They're defending and protecting Muslims, and we need Saudi and UAE and Turkey to step up.
To focus on the UK, though, the Telegraph is saying that the turn in this, because there's been a resistance, hasn't there, to get involved militarily.
Yes, of course.
The turn in this now is that whether or not the Islamic State or these militants will pose a direct threat to Western Europe.
I think to some extent that's just an additional justification. We have moral justification enough on the basis that these terrorist barbarians are wiping out people. Our humanitarian foreign policy should be that we will defend, and I wish we could defend every part of the world where these kinds of things happen, not only when our national security is at threat. But yes, that has been the window dressing, that our national security is at threat. Of course it's not. We've got ample domestic safeties in place to resist any threat out of Iraq. This is actually a humanitarian play. It is David Cameron saying this is the right thing to do, in the way that Blair was criticised for saying, actually, on a moral basis, put aside legal issues, on a moral basis, this was the right thing to do. And David Cameron's doing exactly the same thing.
And just briefly, Alpesh, I mean, the scale of force, we were talking about, what, our Tornado jets, and there are boots on the ground, right? They're preparing the way for the...
who apparently direct where the missiles should be dropped. So it's still relatively hands-off. It's not soldiers in the conventional sense. It's special forces, so it's pinpoint strikes, because obviously what we don't want is a body count, because then it'll change the equation. But this sadly needs to be done. It's unfortunate. It needs to be done by Britain and Western forces. It should be done by Middle Eastern countries to clean up their own backyard and the mess that they create themselves amongst themselves.